Single crochet is one of the most basic crochet stitches. It's very close in structure and a short stitch, so that makes it great for anything from shawls to bags to sweaters, you name it. To begin, make a slip knot and then chain 11 stitches. In single crochet, we always need a 1-stitch turning chain. So we need 1 extra chain stitch for the number of single crochets that we want. So in this case, we're going to make 10 single crochets, so we need 11 chain stitches. All right, we are ready to start the first row of single crochet. Now we have 11 chain stitches, but we're actually going to skip this first one here. That's our turning chain that builds height for our single crochet rows. We're going to make a single crochet in each of the other 10 chain stitches. On my first row, I like to just go into the backs of the chain stitches. Everyone has a preference for how they like to do the first row, but I would recommend this way for beginners as it's the easiest place to go. All right, so to begin, we're going to skip that first chain and go right into that second one. Just go into the back loop. Now yarn over and pull through just that first loop. You should have 2 loops on your hook. Make another yarn over, and this time we're going to pull through both of those loops on the hook. This part can be a little bit of a challenge, so if you need to kind of wiggle through one at a time, that is perfectly okay. All right, now we're going to do another single crochet in that next chain. I can tell which chain I need to go into if I sort of pull up. I can see that I've already gone into this chain, so I know my next one is right here. All right, so go into that next chain stitch just in the back, yarn over, and pull through just the first loop. You should have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again and pull through both loops. And then you've made a second single crochet. Keep repeating this all the way across until you get to the very last chain. I've made it across to where it looks like I have just 1 chain stitch left. What can be so tricky about crochet is telling where the end of our row is. So before I go into that last stitch, I'm actually going to check and make sure that I am on the right stitch. So I'm going to count. So if I kind of unfurl this here, I can see my first stitch right here. I'm looking at the top, and I'm just going to count them. I should have 9 with 1 stitch remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So this is indeed my last stitch. So let me get situated again here, and I'm going to go into that last chain. All right, so dive right into it, just that back half there. Yarn over and pull it through. 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through both loops. And that is the end of our first row of single crochet. I've just finished my first row of single crochet, and now it's time to start the second row. But before I turn around, I need to make a turning chain. All you do is make a yarn over and then pull through that loop. And that gives you 1 extra chain here on the end, which builds height for our second row. Okay, now that I've done my turning chain, I am ready to start my second row. The second row and all of the rows following are exactly the same. So I need to turn my piece of crochet around so that I can go back again in the other direction. So I'm just going to turn it counterclockwise, keeping my yarn in the back, so that now I'm ready to go from left to right again. All right, here I am ready to start my second row. I'm going to skip this turning chain just like I skipped that extra chain stitch on the first row. Now the other difference between the first row and all the following rows is we're actually going to go into an entire stitch. So you can see my stitches look like V's, and each of these V's works together. So 2 strands for 1 stitch. So skip that chain stitch here, and we're going to go into this first stitch. So with your hook, go ahead and go into that first stitch. So you can see it's 2 strands, but we're just treating it as 1 stitch. So let me show you that again. Here's how it looks from the front. I'm skipping that first chain and I'm going into the first hole here. So diving in to that first stitch. Then I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to pull through the entire stitch. So those 2 strands are treated as 1. I've got 2 loops on my hook, yarn over, and pull through both loops. And that's the first single crochet of our second row. And now we just continue across, going into each stitch. From the top, they look like V's. So go into that second stitch. Again, it's 2 strands. Yarn over. It helps if you keep your hook up like that. Pull through that entire stitch. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Keep repeating that all the way across the row until you get to the end. It looks like I am at the end of the row. If I turn it up to the top, it looks like I've got 1 stitch left, but I'm just going to double check by counting my stitches. So if I look at the top, I can see my first stitch is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So it looks like I do have 1 stitch left. If I kind of turn him forward, it makes it a little easier for me to get into that last stitch. Yarn over, pull through the entire stitch, yarn over, and pull through both loops. And that is the end of the second row of single crochet. Now you can continue on just repeating what you did for the second row. So first we need to make our turning chain, yarn over, and pull through, and then we turn counterclockwise so that we're ready to go from left to right again. Skip that turning chain and go right into the first stitch. Make your single crochets all the way across. That's all there is to the single crochet stitch. When you're ready to learn a new stitch, I would recommend moving to the half double crochet next.